and it looks like it's going to have to be modified straight out of the packet. So what's unusual about that? Not pretty, but it never is when I work. Okay, why has this video taken so long? Well, we've been working on these side skirts for an EA11R cappuccino. We had to repair them and respray them, done all in-house here at home, and they turned out absolutely fantastically. Also going to fit a Earl's oil cooler and check out these new wheels. Make sure to take note of that number plate placement there, and the oil cooler goes in here. Just got to get this bumper off and we can begin. We are fitting an oil cooler here. Number plate came off. There's a loop there, see that? And this goes through the loop, but the nut on the top spins, so I'm just going to weld this on here so that it's easier to fit and remove. This is my welder. It's a gasless MIG. It's only 100 volts, and a lot of people told me that just having a 100 volt MIG, you won't be able to do anything with it. It's not enough power. But I bought it anyway, under the advice of one guy, Stuart, and he said that it'll be fine, and he was 100% correct. So what we're going to do is just tack here on the other side so that that nut can't spin anymore. When we slide that over the tow hook, there's another washer that goes on the underside, and that locks the number plate holder in place. Got a hole? Blam. Not pretty, but it never is when I weld. Here's a tow hook that holds onto the number plate holder. And it sort of goes like that. So that giant washer sits on top of the tow hook, and then sandwiches this so that it stays where it's supposed to go. Now the nut on the top won't spin. Done! How the fuck does it go? The radiator's hot? Oh, it's only 60 something. Alright, so we've got our oil cooler, and it's we've test fitted it. This was purchased off Yahoo auction, and it's already been in a cappuccino. So you can see that this bracket lines up with this hole here, and this bracket lines up with this hole here. And one thing that I don't like about this is that the hole goes right through, and you have to hold a nut on the bottom of it, and I don't like that. It pisses me off. So what I'm going to do is drill it out to 9mm, drop a riv cert in it, and then you can just screw it in. It'll just screw straight in. Perfect, easy, beautiful.
Just get like a GoPro.
I'll just get a GoPro. Just get one. Just magically come up with the money for a GoPro. This is a riv cert gun. This screws on here like this. And you squeeze it, and it squeezes like a rivet, and then we get thread from there. There's our riv cert done. Like that. we've got the intercooler off the cappuccino, I figure I may as well pressure test it because it's got a few broken fins and whatnot. It's pretty beaten up. So, yep, pressure test it same way I did the carry. Let's go. And naturally, it doesn't quite fit. It's hitting on the aircon parts. So what we're going to do is we're going to space this back and allow us some more room so that it doesn't hit the intercooler as well, which it has already been hitting in the previous vehicle. So once we space this, it should give us quite a lot more room back there to just shift the oil cooler back a little bit. Yep. Oil cooler's in. A few adjustments to the mounting. Nice. There is an oil cooler in there, we promise. See, it's in there. Can't really see it. Oh, there you go. Earls, you can see it. Love this car. So to go with our oil cooler, we have this sandwich block. This one doesn't have any ports for sensors, so I'm going to drill into here and tap it so a sensor can be fitted. Never tried this before, but yeah, see how we go. Wild karaoke night, and then we cut to this. I decided while the bumper was off I'd fix it because it had a lot of cracks in it. That corner there, all along here, big crack in the middle, on that joint there, all along the bottom, and some on the side here. I thought it was hot in our sunroom, so I put a thermometer in here. Yep, it's hot in here. As you can see, it is quite strong now. Fixed. So I recorded this long, detailed video about pressure testing my turbo and intercooler piping, and then I was watching the video and was just not happy with the results. At the time I was, but I don't know why. So I've decided to skip the turbo and just test the piping to see if there's any leaks there. Alright, so here we go. Look at that. Moving a little bit. But my dodgy mod that wouldn't work seems to have worked. I don't have any bubbles anymore. I obviously have another leak. Yo, just a quick shout out to Dustin Yee from California who placed an order for this F100 Monster Sports kit. This is basically the go-to kit for your Suzuki Cappuccino. It ups the power from 64 brake horsepower to 100 horsepower at the wheels, which transforms the car. Enjoy this. Let's get back into some modding. Alright, so we're going to put some sensors in this oil block. Now this is the temp sensor. And I want to put it in on sort of an angle so that if we have to max out the thread or whatever, it doesn't touch this inside wall. So I want to put it on an angle like that. I've already ground out this part here so that I could get a nice flat area for the drill to bite into, and that's where we're at now. The other sensor that will go in is an oil pressure sensor, and it will go in over here just on that sort of angle, so it's really easy. I'll do that after this one. This one's a bit more difficult. Next up is the hole for the pressure sensor. So I'm going to drill and tap that one. Now over to the carry, where I've been doing some pressure testing on the intercooler lines and having terrible results with failed hose clamps and just leaks all over the place basically. I'm just trying to find boost leaks now, and it's proving very difficult to do. I've found and fixed 2 already that were in a place where I never would have thought of, actually coming from sensors and hose clamps not being on tight enough. So now I've got it to the point where I'm going to separate the system into like left side and right side. And I'm testing the hoses individually basically. It's very time consuming. So I've just had the blocking part here just before the intercooler to test this side of the piping, and it seems to be holding. So I'm just going to remove this side and block this part off here to include the intercooler in the test, and then little by little I'll go this way to try to find the leak. It's going to be in some stupid spot, I just know it. I can't actually see what I'm recording because the camera has to be so low to the ground. Very difficult. And filming the videos actually makes this process take a lot longer than it should. So I have to check the angle of the camera and all that other stuff. As you can see, I'm not getting much closer with the pressure test, so I'm going to leave the video there. I don't know if anyone's even watching it, so I'll save the rest for the next video. There's more coming. I'm ordering hose clamps probably. This is just a disaster. I'm pulling my hair out here. Before I go though, big shout out to Adam Wood of Melbourne, Australia. See you in the next video, guys.